Hello there, my very good friends. It's Q&A time. I'm Andy. This is Adam. Let's do it.
Let's dive straight into it. First question today comes from Golden RK9, who says, I've never had a chance to ask a question. Well, now you have. If MJF has already re-signed, do you think it's better for the bidding war of 2024 to end with a babyface beating him for the title in the last hour, or would it be better for MJF to win on the last show of the year and to hop the barricade, CM Punk Money in the Bank style, with the story being he's left the company with the top prize?
I have a very simple answer to this question.
Okay.
I don't think the bidding war storyline works if he's re-signed.
No.
Or at least if people know he is re-signed, right? Which we seem to after the thing that happened after Dynamite the other week, where he was like, thank you, Tony Khan, for making me a very rich man in 2024. So, if it is known that MJF has re-signed, and it kind of is now.
It's certainly gotten a lot more quiet, that side of the story, hasn't it?
Yeah. If that's a known thing, then the intrigue is not in the storyline, which means you cannot recapture the magic of CM Punk in 2011, which to me means you should abandon it and not do it, because it's not going to be as good.
Yeah.
The whole thing with CM Punk at Money in the Bank 2011, it was that you genuinely thought that CM Punk was walking out of the company in 2011. It didn't emerge that he'd re-signed until afterwards, or at least for most people. So
he left the whole company for a whole
2 weeks?
8 days.
Yeah, I think it wasn't even 2 weeks. There you go. So it doesn't have that real world line blurring intrigue. No. So yeah, if he has re-signed and people know about it, which we do, don't do it.
Yeah, I think, it worked really well as a story, as like when it first got announced and people were like, oh, you could literally do him defending the title on each pay-per-view, and then you're like, uh-oh, we're getting pretty close to December now, and winter is coming, or whatever you wanted to do as the last big thing of the title defenses or the potential hijacking of the title. It would have worked really well, but in the current state of weirdness being as it is, I think he was always going to get out because they were always probably going to re-sign MJF for a long and very expensive time.
Lucrative money, baby.
But he's worth it without question. So I'd just have him lose the title when it feels right. And I genuinely don't know when that is. I'd say not until next year for me, but I'm incredibly biased.
I'm here for it, and he's doing great work at the moment with Adam Cole. Let's see how it pans out.
Who should beat MJF for the title?
That's what I
know in the comments.
In the comments below. And by the way, if you're curious where these questions came from, YouTube community page, baby. Check us out over there. If you subscribe, you'll get a notification whenever we post. That's what we're doing for these. We might do some of these on live streams in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We might do some of it on Threads if it's still alive. I don't know. I've not checked.
Gonna jump on Cameo and do one on there. What was WWE's one? Tout.
Sure. Tout it out.
What? Yeah, if in doubt, tout. Ultra Boy 2669 has been on. What is your finisher, Mount Rushmore? We'll do this. All I know is that the RKO and the Stunner are must on the list. So we'll do the usual thing where we bounce back and forth. I'm going to go first, because one of mine is the Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that one in particular has to be on there.
We'll do our own ones.
Everyone has wanted to hit or has popped huge for a Stone Cold Stunner at some point in their life. Even to this day, one of the things on my wrestling bucket list was seeing him hit one, and it's awesome. So I think it has to go on all of them. But to keep things interesting, I'm going to say, if we're going Mount Rushmore for finishers, a finisher is something that finishes a match, correct?
Yeah.
So it has to be the One-Winged Angel, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah.
It
doesn't get kicked out of unless you're Kenny himself, which is his move. That makes sense. Fair, can't argue with that. Mine are a bit more animalistic.
Good.
Stan Hansen Lariat.
If you'd have said, bet what you're going to think Andy's going to go for, Andy said something that takes your head off.
Yeah, it takes your head off. The whole thing, like Stan Hansen used to kill people with this, and the whole thing about him saying that he was basically blind, so he had to hit people to make sure he connected, and he was a big old dude. Yeah, every single one is a jaw rattler. Favorite of all time.
I'm going to go with F5. Love an F5.
Baby. Yeah.
Devastating move. And if necessary, we can just add a bit of an extension to Mount Rushmore and make it an F10.
There you go. Saxtonation is my... No. Death Valley Driver.
Yes.
Coolest name ever for a move, in my opinion. It just looks really cool. Pop them on the shoulders, drive them in the mat. It's been kind of overdone on the apron and stuff over the years, but it still kicks ass.
If we're going my finisher at Mount Rushmore, my version of the Stone Cold Stunner, my thing that I would love to see live, my thing that I have recreated on a million different wrestling games, it's the People's Elbow.
Fair enough.
It's a huge popper in the Wilborn household. It's not necessarily that, like, it's not a Stan Hansen lariat. It's certainly not a one-winged angel in terms of its devastation, but it gets them the crowd on their feet.
Pageantry. Sometimes a finishing move should just be really flashy.
Yes.
Sometimes it should kill someone. Not literally, obviously. So with that in mind, my last one is the Burning Hammer.
That would have been my other one if I had to guess yours. Burning Hammer, yeah.
He only used Kenta Kobashi used it like 7 times. It's just an inverted Death Alley driver, but he's driving you right on your face.
Yeah.
On the mat. It's brutal. It's got a mythos about it until indie people who I won't name started kicking out of it 5 minutes into matches. It's a wonderful, all-time great kill shot. Love it.
I contemplated putting Jake Atlas's finisher on there because I love that. It was one of my favourite finishers when he was in NXT. But I'm going to go, appropriately, old school and just say the Tombstone Pile Driver.
Okay, all right.
Because if we're going all-timer, well, he's dead. It's the Tombstone. But we're accommodating for the fact that the Stone Cold Stunner has to be on it automatically.
Yeah,
so we're just
absolutely.
extending our Mount Rushmore slightly. Right, next question today comes from Girlfriend Versus. Or VS, but I think it's Versus.
Oh.
Does The Rock even have a place in the Bloodline story anymore? When and how would you satisfyingly insert him into the drama going forward? Great question.
Yeah, like creatively, they still have the big dog, the real big dog coming down to sort the family out. Like, that's a very compelling WWE style storyline, and in an ideal world, you would incorporate that some way into the current thing. The problem is, Dwayne is a very busy man. Dwayne, like he's my friend or something, what am I doing? Fitting it into his schedule is always going to be difficult, and his insurance and all of that stuff. Also, it presents complications with the world title, because if the end of all of this is The Rock, you not put the world title on The Rock in 2024 or whenever it's going to be. Also, if someone takes the belt off of Roman before then, it's like, well, that was not the end of the story. That wasn't the big moment, him losing the title, which it should be to make someone. The end of the story is The Rock, which is kind of weird. So, yeah, there is a conundrum here, and you know what? WWE's business is so strong at the moment, I would just not do it.
I agree. For a man who loves The Rock, favourite wrestler of all time, I don't think he has a part in this story. At least until Roman drops the title, and then it's like, well, is there even any point in it, like you say? Because Cody's the guy. Cody's always been the guy to take the title off Roman and beat him at WrestleMania, whenever that may be, 39 or 40. It's going to be 40 now. But yeah, a Rock title defense at like the Rumble just doesn't work. It also would put the fear of God in me that Vince would be like, actually, you know what? Yeah, let's have The Rock end this streak or whatever. There is scope in my world of doing a match between The Rock and Roman at next year's SummerSlam with no title, just tribal stuff.
Yeah.
But for now, between now and WrestleMania 40, no. Not for me. Not for me, Jeff.
Really, really difficult to incorporate it now, isn't it? Let's move over to our next question. Kevin Ramsey's been on. In all seriousness, what are WWE going to do about the women's tag team titles? They seem cursed now with all the injuries that have occurred while holding the titles. What do you reckon?
I mean,
Sonya, obviously.
I fixed it. Bring the Iconics in, make them a team of Karens that freebird the tag titles with Chelsea Green.
I think Jessie's just pregnant.
There you go. Well, one of them. One of them's not.
Yeah, bring in.
Yeah, I think Peyton's already... I keep calling her names. I just stick with that because I know which one's which there. Peyton Bloody Royce has already given birth, obviously. Congratulations to her.
She's announced a comeback date as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I know, obviously, I think they're contracted to somewhere else. Impact,
I
maybe?
have no idea.
Regardless, that's how you fix it. There's always the Iconics.
Yeah.
But
once they're ready to go.
But Billie Kay, yeah, I believe you're right, actually, is pregnant. So, great. We'll just have her be ringside pregnant. Don't do any angles with her. Just have her yell and be the best. Maybe have her on commentary or whatever.
The two of them combined with Chelsea would be absolutely incredible television.
Just, I think utilise... I mean, you already have. You've stolen a lot of the tag teams from the the NXT Women's Tag Team division. I'd say for the time being, maybe keep it on Chelsea and whoever you end up putting her with, because they need to stop flip-flopping around. Long term, Kane Carter and Kacy Catanzaro, or Katana Chance, whatever she's called now.
And Kaden Carter, yeah.
That's who I'd rely upon, and then establish some teams that aren't just two people being thrown together.
Yeah, I was going to say them, Chance and Carter, because like you don't really have a lot of units who are tenured and who weren't just thrown together, and you always had the old thing of every single team in this division would form, win the belts, split up, and feud. How many times do we see it?
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, countless examples.
Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. It's like almost every single one. Nikki Cross, Alexa, all that stuff. So what I would do is I know they've done bugger all on TV since they were called up. I would just put them on Carter and Chance some way. And let them wrestle every week. And
have them feud with like Dawn and Fire, because they're great as well.
Just give it a go, see if it works. Look, it's not like you're relying on this division to main event pay-per-views. Just get them on TV, having matches, get the crowd familiar with them, run some character stuff. I think you could work quite well. Yeah,
and I think you've got your chances of who have you got? Valentina Feroz and Yulissa Leon down in NXT. Eventually, you can bring them up. And, they've got that weird pairing now of Dana Brooke and Kalani Jordan. I don't know what's going on there. Like, you have got teams that you're establishing in NXT that you could then bring up. But, yeah, when you do that, don't go, right, 2 weeks, then they could split.
You put Emma and Dana Brooke back together. Like, they were good in NXT. They were fun.
Something with Emma.
Yeah,
Jesus.
they had good chemistry.
But, Andy, everyone loves being part of a team. And you know how you can be part of our team? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You never see it coming, do you?
Got it. I've got the answer. Mandy Rose. Bring her back. Stepping in for her friend, her best friend.
That's actually a great shout.
We've stumbled upon it. There we go. Let us know in the comment section below after you've subscribed and rung the bell for notifications.
What future opponents writes a queer goth? What future opponents would you like to see for Rhea? And who can you see defeating her, if anyone? Personally, I would really like to see a match between Rhea and Shayna. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good rest of your week. That
would kick so much ass in this day and age. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Was it Rhea and Charlotte who had like a kind of crappy feud for a bit and then went, should we just beat the shit out of each other at one of the pay-per-views?
Shall we go insane?
Yeah.
I love that. I love it when that happens. Shayna and Rhea would be amazing, and I think they're probably heading in that direction once they've done the Raquel and Liv stuff. Which I like, by the way. I think that's a good story. It's classic pro wrestling. I'm going to beat you up so you can't fight me. Like, it's just perfect.
Raquel wants to go, they literally won't clear her. Yeah, good stuff.
It's classic pro wrestling. In terms of the storyline. Kairi Sane. Look, we know Kairi's not going to be back properly until like November or something, so it's going to be a while. But my God, what a styles clash.
Hell of a, Rhea stands tall at Survivor Series in a title match. She's like, I've beaten everybody.
Yeah, the powerhouse versus the high flyer, the dominant, controls the ring versus the underdog babyface fighting from beneath. Irresistible. It would be incredible.
Yeah, that would be I know we're getting Bianca versus Rhea at WrestleMania.
Obviously that as well.
Yeah. But if you want to do another huge match, give her the Paul Burchill entrance as well. Swinging on a rope, baby.
Give her Paul Burchill.
Give her Paul Burchill.
Why not?
Don't know what he's up to nowadays.
What is he up to nowadays?
I don't know. The last time I saw him, he was being a little bit weird with his sister on WWE television, wasn't he?
That were 15 years ago, so Lord knows what happened since then. All right, shall we move on?
Very quickly, Roxanne Perez.
Good.
I won Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley. They've obviously already done it in NXT, but that was the dynamic would be fun, different, because it was like, she getting down to kick her ass because Cora Jade just got her as like a hired gun, Rhea Ripley. I think Roxanne Perez would be a perfect Royal Rumble challenger for Rhea Ripley. She's not going to win,
but it'd be good.
And she eventually could be the one to become world champion, but not yet.
Next one comes from Patrick O'Malley, 3402. When do you think that WWE are going to pull the trigger on the separation of the Judgment Day?
Long time. Not yet. I think they'll try and keep it as far away as possible from the Bloodline stuff.
Yeah.
I think obviously they've clearly gone, hey, these whole faction things actually work quite well.
Yeah.
Let's start doing more of that.
Yeah. These
and
draw.
The thing with that is you can't just be like, another faction splits. I think there will be, you saw JD McDonough being reintroduced into the storyline on Raw, I believe, this week. So, there's going to be changes, but in terms of a split, you might see Damian Priest be ostracised from the Judgment Day, but they're not splitting and going all their separate ways anytime soon. Road to WrestleMania stuff for me, that.
Yeah, good. I like that because I like them being friends, and I don't want them to stop being friends. I think they have amazing chemistry. I think it'll be longer term as well. I think they're feeding you a bit of a red herring.
I so like the fact that the JD McDonough thing's been weird because they sort of introduced it, then they got rid of it, and now they've brought it back. So in kayfabe, Finn Balor has gone, you know that guy who got eliminated like second in the Slim Jim Battle Royal? Let's get him in this group. It wasn't a great few days really, was it, to do it in? But I'm interested in Irish stuff. Okay.
Yep. Anyway.
Next question comes from Jason Gibbs 7860. There's a lot of Jason Gibbs out there apparently. Why is ratings for wrestling programs the last holdover from the Monday Night Wars that fans still care about? And do they matter as much as they did in the 90s when WWE versus WCW was a thing? My God, do we talk about ratings a lot?
Yeah,
even though we said we don't like to.
We kind of stopped doing this on the news because it's not that interesting week to week, I don't think, for a lot of people. No. But this is a big question, and I thought it would be cool to put on here because we're doing like 10 questions.
Yeah.
Short answer: you don't have to care about them. If you don't want to care about them, they really shouldn't have an impact on how much you enjoy the product, right? At all. If you can only enjoy something that's popular, that's weird to me. Just like what you like. I could watch a show that has 5 people in attendance and think it was the best thing ever. Like, numbers like that don't matter.
I have no idea if lots of people are watching The Bear, but you told me about it and said it was good, and it is, and I enjoy it. So
something's popularity shouldn't affect how much you like it, so you don't need to care about it. That being said, right, ratings in 2023 are more important today than ever before. Literally today, this is a more important metric than at any other point in pro wrestling history. Why? Because TV revenues comprise an overwhelmingly high majority of wrestling promotions' income these days.
Yeah.
The companies are more reliant on TV than anything else because the fees are so high these days. So that number matters a lot more, and that's why they are still so prominent and why people still talk about them. It's not an obsession. It's not people whatever. It's a fact. WWE and AEW are both extremely dependent on these things. Billions of dollars a year for WWE in particular. WWE are trying to change that a little bit by getting more big sponsorships in, like the Slim Jim and do and all that stuff. But for now, they are more important than ever before from a business sense, but you, the fan, you don't have to care.
Yeah, there's a reason why Meltzer and Shaw Ross Sapp and obviously Brandon Thurston, WrestleNomics in particular, report on those sort of things for the exact reasons that Andy's pointed out. But if you're a casual wrestling fan who doesn't buy into all the tribal bollocks, it should not matter to you. Like you say, some of the best films in the world are films that don't go to the big cinemas or big Hollywood. You know, they're just little niche things. That's completely fine. I couldn't care less personally about ratings, but it's something we have to kind of report on. Plus, sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to ratings. You can have literally the best episode of Raw or Dynamite or whatever, but because Crufts is on the other channel, loads of people watch that and said it doesn't mean the wrestling show's any worse.
Yeah, Crufts particularly big ratings drop in the US. Right, my watch kind of fell off.
Whoa!
Never mind. I'm thrown off. Edwin Rose Enquist has been on. Hello, guys. There are a lot of complaints that Becky versus Trish and Rhea versus Raquel got cut from SummerSlam. Should SummerSlam be a 2-day event?
Nope, not for me. Not for me. I love 2-day WrestleManias, but I think that's the point. It's WrestleMania. It merits a 2-day thing. Like if I get it about them not putting the Becky Trish thing on. I think if you'd have cut that really long main event shorter, you could have easily got at least one of those matches on there with hindsight. Because I was sat there going, you know what? If you have to put a Battle Royal on and look at the reaction LA Knight got, then it's kind of, to a certain extent, justified. But I watched that show and went, yeah, you could have, as you always say, you could have trimmed some video packages here. You've already paid to watch the show, so what's it really matter?
What's advertising?
And you could have cut 15 minutes out of that main event and still told the exact same story because it didn't really matter until you got sort of later into that match. Other than that, what else would you have put on night 2 of SummerSlam?
Yeah, this is it.
Well, Austin Theory versus Santos Escobar. I love 50% of that match, but...
Yeah, this is it. 2-day events, WrestleMania, it's great. Feels like a big occasion. It's your whole weekend, right? Watching this show, watching these 2 shows. The more you do them, the less it feels like an occasion, the less it feels like an event, the less special it feels, the more watered down it is.
Yeah.
I could see an argument for the Royal Rumble. You want to split both Rumble matches up
That's
with
a good point.
2 or 3 undercard bouts. For SummerSlam, let's keep it one night. I like it.
Yeah, SummerSlam and Survivor Series, there is maybe if you want to do War Games, but even then, maybe just make War Games more special and just have one. But I like 2-night Royal Rumbles.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe an AEW one. Which AEW one would you have if you had to have one over 2 nights? All Out makes the most...
Yeah, but there's not really, they don't really have a Mania equivalent. It's just like, here's some pay-per-views. And that's good because they all feel kind of level. I wouldn't do any of them, to be honest.
Double or nothing. Quadruple or nothing, if anything.
8 nights, what?
Right, next question. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, look at that accidental segue.
There you go.
Should, with everybody saying L-A-9, should he win the 2024 Royal Rumble? Because Barden1694 says, yeah.
Yes.
Not for me, Jeff.
Who have you got?
I love me some LA Knight, and I believe LA Knight should possibly be fighting for a big title at WrestleMania. If not, you have at least have him defend, let's say, the United States Championship. Gunther.
Okay.
Possibly even, and I don't know how you book around this, so there's a reason why I'm not a wrestling booker. Possibly even still Intercontinental Champion Gunther wins the Royal Rumble. I like the idea of him going one step further the year after.
One step closer to the edge.
Cody does not need to win it to set up a title match at WrestleMania.
You can do that otherwise.
Your title match in the men's division should be to establish a challenger for, let's say, Seth Rollins, just for example. At time of recording, he is the World Heavyweight Champion. But at the end of the day, if it was LA Knight and Gunther at the end, I think actually you'd get your desired reaction either way. If LA Knight wins, you'd be happy, and you've got your match set up for WrestleMania. And if Gunther wins, people would be pissed off, so Gunther would get the appropriate reaction, but also people wouldn't be like, oh no, Jinder's won instead of, LA Knight or whatever. For the women, does it have to be Bianca again?
Yeah, I think Bianca to set up Rhea would be really good. But I'm also in favour of them just hot-shotting Zoe up. And not,
You've said that before,
Not
yeah.
Zoe, sorry, I love Zoe Starks, Roxanne Perez.
Yes, yeah.
I'd be totally in favour of her just debuting and winning, because it would be an instant.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
Kyrie, because she's great and she's coming back.
Oh yeah, if you don't have her come back in November, number 30.
Hey, there you go.
Because they did from the beginning, basically, didn't they? For both.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. Cody was 30, wasn't he?
Yes.
But Gunther did the whole and Rhea did the whole.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You are kind of spoiled for choice in both divisions, I'd say, for contenders next year.
Speaking of spoiled for choice, final question of the day comes from DK, who wants to know...
Donkey Kong himself!
Donkey Kong's been on. What are your plans for All In Weekend? Is there an opportunity to meet you guys similar to the events held before Clash at the Castle? Well, let's go through your plans first.
It's coffee. It's from our good friends at Good Brews. I'll be drinking a boatload of that and not going to All In, but for hopefully a very happy reason. In fact, by the time this video comes out, who knows, maybe I'll already be a dad because my son, at time of recording, is due to be born in just under 9 days, 7 days to be precise. So yeah, with a arrival date of August 17th, I hope he's bloody arrived in time, but I'll be watching it like this going, shh, shh, shh. Scissor me, and then help teaching him the Acclaims celebration and what have you. But I will be watching, but you guys will be going. That's more important.
So we'll be in London Saturday to Monday. We're not doing a live show like we did over Clash at the Castle. We just couldn't.
Without this guy, why would you?
There you go. You did the last one. There you go. You've never done one.
Yeah, one of these days, I will go to a British big wrestling show.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's like me trying to get to the States on those shows. I probably shouldn't have robbed the US government for $20 million that time.
Stole the, what's the thing from Nicolas
Alamo.
Cage? The Declaration of Independence.
That's it, yeah, it's in my living room. I've got the Constitution as well.
He is a national treasure.
I am the gem.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
We're not doing a live show, we just couldn't get it organised this time. We will be around. We're going to try and do some public content. We'll be definitely around Wembley before the show, buzzing around, try to speak to you guys. If there's any opportunities to get involved with the humans, that's what we like to do.
Yeah.
We will update you on the community page on Twitter. Keep an eye on those.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
And one day I will go to a UK wrestling show, I promise.
But not before you've clicked this video right here.
Hey-o!
See you later.
Bye, thanks for the questions.